Hello. This is the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap, episode 352. This is Rajyasree.
And this is Abhinandan. Sekhri, back to back weeks. 2 weeks in a row. I'm here hosting Awful and Awesome. So those who were saying that I'm just ignoring this show, well, I'm not.
And during election season.
And yesterday was polling day. Then Gujarat went to polls, parts of Maharashtra, then Baramati belt, etc. So it was a really long day. And today, while we're recording this, our case is being heard. Is going to be heard later in the day, hopefully, in the High Court. So I was with the lawyers till at night. And here I am in the morning recording a show. So in case I haven't watched a few things.
A few.
Thodi maaf kar dena. Sorry. There's this song. Okay, let me start off with the pop culture icon. So, Mandakini.
Yes, I love Mandakini. I watched Ramdeti, Ganga Meli.
Other than that, what do you know about her? Nothing.
She was Dawood Ibrahim's girlfriend for the longest time.
Okay. So other than that, did you also know that she launched an album?
Yeah, I've seen the video. She made a video also.
Do you know the steps?
No, that.
See, you need the original pop culture. So I'll sing and I'll do the steps also.
Both. Two.
So I'm apologizing to our audience for not having watched jack shit.
Anything. Basically.
I watched about 60% of episode 1 of Heeramandi, and even that was very tough. I'm not joking. I can only watch it in like 2-minute breaks.
Yeah. So I just want to say that Abhinandan with great enthusiasm wrote, we will review Heeramandi.
Yeah.
Which as I read that, I knew that he's not going to watch it.
Why? How did you know?
Because I know, as you'll watch it, I knew what would happen because I started watching it too. And I was like, if I'm having difficulty watching it.
So the steps are?
Yes.
She's wearing a blue off-shoulder thing.
Of course.
The steps are? Sorry, handsome. There is no vacancy. Sorry, handsome. There is no vacancy. It's vacancy. Like you?
Yeah.
She doesn't know her very from her worm. So, no vacancy. So, sorry, viewers. I haven't watched anything.
If I could be as lucky in love as Mandakini, I would be blessed. Dawood Ibrahim, then she became a drug mule for her husband. Then she went to then she stopped threading her eyebrows and she became a unibrow. I feel so bad
that the newslaundry studio is like my temple. We stand for integrity, high ideals, values that are of honesty, trust, credibility and sincerity. And you sit in this temple of mine and say, I wish I was a drug mule for a anti-national drug running this thing. I wish I was as lucky as her in love.
With Dawood
I'm like, kahan newslaundry ke ideals, kahan hamari ye host?
I'm just honest. I have no artifice.
Sorry, viewers. We have a traitor in the ranks.
So we are going to start with
Heeramandi.
The Diamond Bazaar.
So, Rajyasree Sen, you want to tell us the
story. Let me tell you the story. What I figured out. I watched 4 episodes.
Okay.
3 episodes and 3.75 episodes I watched. And I said, nothing's going to happen, so let it be.
So let me just first tell everybody what is the credits of Heeramandi.
Yes.
It has been conceptualized and directed by Sanjay Leela Bhansali. So you know it's going to be low on substance but high on spectacle.
Music also is by him.
That's also not unusual. It's important to point out that the cinematography is by Sudeep Chatterjee, Mahesh Limai, Hyun Sang Mohapatra, and Raghul Dharuman.
Okay.
Because that is the main stay of this spectacle. It is the cinematography, the lighting, the opulence, I think 80% of the budget has gone on that only. And I don't know to what extent it's true, but back in Bombay when I was working on Filhal, he was shooting Devdas at the time.
Okay.
And I remember we used to hear that, there used to be various, Goldie Bahal was shooting, because where our shooting used to be happening, Bas Itna Sa Khwab Hai with Abhishek Bachchan. So
which I watched.
The 4-5 films are being shot together. So one used to meet the crew of, we used to hear he takes 1 shot in a day. 1 shot, not 1 scene, 1 shot. And here everyone used to be rushing to finish a scene. So he takes his time. So the cinematography, and that time Pradhan, I forgot, Binod Pradhan was his cinematographer, who was like apparently used to charge some few crores. So he was a cinematographer. So that is and it has Manisha Koirala, Sonakshi Sinha, Adira Hydari, Sanjeeda Sheikh, Sharmil Sehgal Mehta, Richa Chadda. It has Khan. Farida Jalal, who I loved.
Yeah.
And don't just slip in Fardeen Khan. I was coming to the big guns whose career he's reviving. So since Sanjay Bhansali said that I must revive the careers of amazing talent in Bollywood that has gone unrecognized for too long, he said, tang tang, drumroll Fardeen Khan, drumroll Adyayan Suman, drumroll Shekhar Suman. So I feel bad when I see such talent like Richa Chadda or Farida Jalal, and then I see Shekhar Suman and the rest of these jokers. But that is it. Now, Rajyasree, please tell us the story, because I only watched about 32 odd minutes.
So that story stays the same for 4 episodes basically. So this is set in Heeramandi, which is this very well-known, like GB Road, Shonagachi and all. It's this well-known, I'm trying to say well property. That's why I'm carrying on repeating it. Red light area.
Well known.
And
so I'd like to apologize to our audience, because Rajyasree said Sonagachi, GB Road, as if all audience are frequent these places, so they know GB Road is a red light area of Delhi, Sonagachi is a red light area of Kolkata. So I don't expect all of you to know this. She does. I don't know what kind of people she hangs out with, but our News Laundry viewers would not know, so I'm telling you.
And Bombay has no red light area. I've never heard. Maybe they are very evolved as people. But this is set in pre-independence Pakistan. It's set in Lahore. And
there was no Pakistan pre-independence.
It's set in Lahore. We knew it would become
so
Pakistan.
It's become pre-independent India.
And all these, Manisha Koirala is a courtesan. It's basically about courtesans, their lovers, their fights with each other. The courtesans fights with each other. They are called tawafs, and how they were also involved in the integral to the independence movement. And the main tawaf is Manisha Koirala, and she has like 2 daughters. One is played by Aditi Rao Hydari, another is played by this chap Sanjay Leela Bhansali's niece, in fact.
Oh, who's that?
Who's not good at acting, and she should not have been given this role.
Which one is she?
Sharmin Sehgal, her name is. And they are the 2 daughters. Sonakshi Sinha is Manisha Koirala's niece in the show. Manisha kills her sister, and the sister's child is sold off by Manisha Koirala at the age of 9. And she comes back to take revenge and basically rule in Heeramandi. So that is the story. And Shekhar Suman is Adyayan Suman, or whatever his name is. Adyayan Suman plays the younger Shekhar Suman. And they are both as not impressive as each other. And Manisha Koirala and Shekhar Suman, he is her patron, her nawab. And then there's another love affair with this Sharmin Sehgal and Taha Shah. He's very good looking.
You watched all the episodes?
No, 4. 3.5.
Will you finish the rest?
No, because I can't. It's too much. Absolutely. And I don't have a full-time job right now. That's why I was able to do this, because otherwise I don't think.
Never. You just watch Big Boss and all that.
That was my job at that point, to review it. So anyway, it is supposedly, he spent 350 crore. The budget is 350 crores for this. So to me, that in itself is a crime that so much money has been spent on this.
300 or 200?
350, I read.
Rajyasree tends to exaggerate. So,
It's 350 only. If they've said 200, means it's 350. But there were certain things, I have to say. One is the music is not impressive, given that they are showing them dancing and singing, and at least the music should be good. 2, those clothes that these women are wearing in Lahore, but it's actually looks like Lucknow. if you wear velvet and zardozi like that in the heat of Lahore or Delhi, no one is going to come close to you. You will not have a nawab near you because you will be stinky. Poo, absolutely. And
जैसे कि नवाब तो पता नहीं we are just smelling of roses. Allah, the Nawab is drunk and he's pissing out of this thing. Half of it must be coming back anyway. It is such a stupid fucking concept. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being a Rajyasree Sen. I was watching it, even these 24 odd minutes that I watched, it took me about 2-3 days to watch it. I could not watch it more than 2-3 minutes at a time because I'd watch it 2 minutes, I'd like start my teeth, I'd start gritting my teeth. Then I just had to shut it and like do something and try to forget about it. Then come back. I still took notes, but
you took notes still. And I have to say, Sonakshi Sinha has acted very well. Like she's got a presence to her, which I don't think after that, The Heart, she was very good at. And I did not like that film with Ranveer Singh, which everyone raved about, which was her big film.
I loved it.
I thought it was okay.
The one where it's based on a short story of that last leaf falling. Oh, it was a lovely film. It was called Lutere.
Lutere. So those are Lutera. So those are the three. These are the three which she's acted well in, and she looks very nice. All that, but Manisha Koirala is quite lovely in this.
Except that she's sitting in this contrived position. This one scene, everyone's sitting in very contrived. Like no one is natural. It is spectacular at a level which leaves behind Devdas and that other Ram Leela. Even that, that whole spectacle. I haven't seen Padmavat.
So Deepika's film you haven't?
I know, I haven't seen Fighter,
No, that's okay. That's really bad.
But I should. Otherwise, sorry Deepika if you're watching.
Yeah,
I will watch Padmavat. I will watch Fighter. Let the election get over. I will take 2 days off and watch every Deepika film that I've forgotten to watch.
Ranveer Singh has just deleted their wedding pictures from Instagram. This might be.
So don't feel happy. Don't feel happy. Other people misfortune. This is your problem. This is your problem. That as Mamta Kulkarni had once famously said in the 90s when she had posed on Stardust, just covering her breast with her hands, and a women's organization had filed a case against her for obscenity. She had said in an interview to Newstrack, these women's are the bitchiest thing. They are the biggest enemies of the women's.
That's sorry.
So anyway, it's spectacular. So it leaves all the detailing behind, like the detailing from every little painting, every diya. It is just, but that's how an ad is made. That's not how. Here the acting over the top. Like I think Manisha Koirala is actually a very good actor. She's matured really well as an actor. Here it's so sad to see her do, like, be angry for no reason. Like people are being cruel to each other, to their siblings for fucking no, like in Sunny Leon world, everyone's just dick for no reason. Let's just be horrible. Okay? So that is one. Second is because everything has to be symmetrical. Also, it's very spectacular, but I don't think whether it's cinematographers or they're not creative in their spectacle in the sense that it's very symmetrical. If this is the frame, everything has to be balanced. Like there's no experimentation. Like Moulin Rouge. That's spectacular.
Yeah.
But the experiment. What's the Baz Luhrmann? What's his name? The guy.
Baz Luhrmann.
Luhrmann also. What he does. What he does with the unconventional use of camera. Here it's very conventional frame, but you've just thrown 100 crores at it to make it look spectacular. There's nothing very clever about how you framed it. It's just, so he's an art director who's been told now you direct it also. So now, I had a friend who by the way, in the 90s when speaker phones and all weren't very common, he used to love fiddling around with gadgets.
Okay.
So he had cordless phones with these things that you used to get from foreign.
Yeah.
There were no cordless. So he had hooked up his landline phone, cables there, to these speakers and the amplifier. Those days used to be the tape deck, amplifier, speakers. He connected to the amplifier and to the speakers.
So you could hear
actually, if you took a call, you could
have surround sound.
But how does the other person hear you? Because that mic was in there.
Yeah.
So he actually did this. He says, see, I don't have to get up to answer the phone. I can talk now. He could hear. So he was trying to show that how it's very convenient. So it said, see, I can sit and talk. Hello? Yes, I can hear. I was like, how is this convenient? You're like contorting your body. So here, all the characters are like, when they're lying casually, they're like, Oh, we lie like this normally because everything has to be symmetrical. I sit like this, showing my mehendi and my this thing because everything. I was like, what the fuck? It was so stupid. It was unwatchable. Everything was infuriating. Okay. So the symmetry is boring. It is not at all creative. You're just throwing money at it. I mean, there's nothing clever or smart about that. It's like, the football analogy I'll use is on Instagram, you see a lot of these guys who juggle the ball really well. They lie down, they get up, but they can't really play a game of football. So,
but it's still a skill to do
that.
that.
But it's a different skill. So cinema is a different skill. Creating a spectacular is like juggling a football, but not being able to play a Champions League. Incidentally, last night, PSG was knocked out by Dortmund. Amazing. Tonight is Real versus Bayern. What an amazing. Okay. So it is like juggling well, but not being able to play a match. Then it is tedious and infuriating.
That also you wrote down.
Aap bade wo ho. Who the fuck writes dialogue like that in 2024?
In Lahore, they used to speak.
Aap bade wo ho. Over the type acting.
They must have been eating Lahori food, which is what I want to eat all the time.
The comeback of talent like Fardeen Khan and Shekhar Suman is truly, truly inspiring.
Poor Fardeen, he acts like this.
One episode was a climb, can't do 10. That's my...
Okay. So there's this scene. I don't know whether in the first half an hour that scene is there. This girl, Sharmin Sehgal, is... Manisha Koirala shouts at her.
She loses the pearl.
She loses that pearl. So she is wearing this flowing anarkali kurta. And her hair is beautifully done. And she picks up a candle which is in that glass, lamp shade. And she then walks into, which is lovely. I wish I had a pool like that. She starts walking into that pool. I thought she's going to kill herself, drown herself. So that's a little odd because your natural instinct is to come up also. But she doesn't. She submerges herself straight down. And then that light goes off. And then she comes out and she was looking for a pearl. Now, she's clearly slow, this woman, because if she thought that candle is going to help, it can't help. And what was the point? Like, a lot of it is nonsensical.
It's pointless. Everything was pointless. The whole show is pointless.
So, there's the other. You missed the independence movement part, which starts.
Oh, dear God.
If you watch this, you realize why the British stayed on as long as they did. Because this is how the independence movement was being fought. These nawabs, he's very buff and very hot, this guy. But they all suck their cheeks in and they have like poetry readings against the British. None of it makes sense. Then one British guy hits him like very stylistically on his back.
Symmetrical. He also has to fall.
He falls like that. And then the British guy goes away. Bloody, they would have shot you if you tried to kill a British soldier. No? None of it makes sense. The story is not interesting. The fights between the women are like Kyuki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, and that there was another one at that time, Kahani Ghar Ghar Ki. Same quality of fighting. Very bad, and it's very dark and dingy. The only time I felt like, so it's not because I thought, are they going to show them? This was upsetting me. This velvet outfitting.
Velvet.
Don't say that. Velvet out. So they changed to lighter clothes during the day.
Fabric matlab.
Fabric change was good. So I felt at least someone, because even Sonakshi Sinha and all must have said, the air conditioning is not this good. So, but should you watch this if you have nothing to do and you like Shekhar Suman and Fardeen Khan?
So that one person watching... The one person who watches into...
Adhyayan Suman.
So see, there are three sets. And the overlap of it, one is if you have nothing to do, which is a fairly large set. And if you like Shekhar Suman, which becomes a slightly small. And Adhyayan Suman.
Yeah.
Now, if you are at the intersection of these three things, you're probably one person.
So you watch it, okay? You are Fardeen Khan.
You, Amit. I'm talking to you.
You watch it.
Amit, this was made for you. I don't know.
And Fardeen Khan looks so, like, when they say you're angry, he just frowns into the camera like that. So I do think Aditi Rao Hydari is very pretty. I find her very pretty at least. But that is about all that. Though I can see pictures of her and think it's pretty as well. This was horrible. It's as simple as that.
So, since we have introduced you to this horrible piece of cinema, I figured I might as well suggest something. It's called The Other Song. It's by director Saba Dewan. It is a documentary film on Rasulan Bai. Those of you who don't know, Rasulan Bai was a very famous Bai, Indian Hindustani classical. She was a Thumri singer par excellence. And she was from the Banaras tradition of Bais. I don't know whether that's a tawayaf, but I guess. And there's one very poignant moment that is related in this, where when she goes to record at the AIR studio, all the other Bais who had come from Banaras, they had been given Padma awards and they had become singers for AIR. So all their pictures, images were there.
तो ये तो यहाँ तो करीब करीब वो भुला दी गई थी 50s में. तो अहमदाबाद के लोग उसके बड़े समझदार हैं. उन्होंने बुलाया और उन्होंने बड़े आदर से उनके साथ रखा और कुछ सीखते भी थे लोग. जब वहाँ अहमदाबाद में हिंदू मुस्लिम राइट हुआ तो इनकी सब संपत्ति लूट गई. तो ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होके और कैसे ये पहुँची इलाहाबाद ये तो नहीं मालूम, लेकिन इलाहाबाद में जो रेडियो स्टेशन को रास्ता जाता था उसी में एक छोटी सी गुमटी लगा करके छोटी छोटी चीज़ें बेचा करते थे, 2-2 4-4 आने वाली. तो वहाँ लोगों को पता लगा तो उन्होंने इनको एक आध प्रोग्राम दिए. तो कह रहे थे कि वो लाठी टेकती टेकती आती थी, पैर उनका कुछ गड़बड़ रहा होगा. तो वो जो एंट्रेंस हॉल था उसमें बड़े बड़े सब पोर्ट्रेट्स लगे थे तो गाने बजाने वालों के. तो अमुक देवी पहले बाई कहलाते थे, फिर देवी हो गए. और इनका भी लगा था तो इनका रसूलन बाई लिखा था. तो उस पर उन्होंने कहा कि अरे ये यहाँ की भाषा में, अरे ये सब देवी हो गई, हम ही एक ठे बाई रह गई.
So she goes to see all the photographs. अच्छा, ये सब देवी बन गई, हम बाई ही रह गई. It is a so the link is in the show notes below. It's on YouTube. It's a 1.5 hour documentary film, and this really gives you. It's not about their involvement in the freedom struggle, but this also mentions that when the Bais of Banaras collected money to donate to Bapu's movement, and Bapu, who's my hero, Rajyasree has. Did you know Rajyasree is a very good painter and sketcher?
No, not painter. I draw.
She's very sketchy.
I'm very sketchy.
Sketchy and shady.
Like Shekhri only.
So she had on my birthday given me a Bapu caricature. Very nice. This is the one thing that I just so disappoints me, that he had said that I will not take money from you because you do bad, immoral things. Your money is not worthy of the freedom movement.
You talk about your grandmother, the once powerful Chaudhrain or leader of the now beleaguered Tawaif community in Banaras. Attracted by Gandhi's inclusive call to Hindus and Muslims, men and women, to join the national movement, she had organized a very unusual meeting of courtesans in 1921. Presided by a framed photograph of Gandhi, the meeting passed a resolution to weed out obscenity in music and to promote national by singing patriotic songs at all occasions. The irony of this meeting is not lost to you. You are aware of Gandhi's outburst against what he termed the obscene manifesto of a group of Tawaifs in Barisal. Their crime? They had organized to help the poor, nurse the sick, and support the cause of Gandhi's Satyagrah. Gandhi declined to recognize them as Congress workers or even accept their donations unless they gave up their unworthy profession, which made them worse than thieves. While thieves merely stole material possessions, these women stole virtue.
Which is where I think Bapu failed. But he also did many great
No,
things.
no, that,
You shouldn't judge people on their worst. Like I always judge Modi ji for his ability to squeeze out a tear at the opportune moments in interviews. Now, so see, that is what you should appreciate him for, not for his governance till 2002 or anything else. Why should you discuss on that? So for me, Bapu's the man who gave us so much. But coming back to this, so the other song is what you should watch. The link is in the show notes below. It is a really remarkable film, and it has such beautiful use of thumri, and it is you'll get even those with really hard hearts. You will feel this pang of sadness for Rasulan Bai and the people from her lineage in this film. So
also, I felt in this, he's not making a documentary, he's making a fiction film, and you don't go, you shouldn't be watching Sanjay Leela Bhansali if you're expecting too much realism or any realism. But the music should have at least been worth listening to, because that is what the Tawaips and all were known for, other than for their other skills. The music, the dancing, there's nothing like it. There's nothing remarkable about it. And basic things, factual problems, not factual, like normal things, like you don't read Urdu left to right.
There's an article which will be in the show notes below where all the people have pointed out to the inconsistencies, the mistakes, and there's so many such basic ones in this. This show. So, but the one thing I would say is that I read an article where they're saying that, after Pakiza and Umrao Jan, which really showed the Tawaif culture. I mean, I personally think if you just look at it objectively, and of course cinema is not objective, it is completely taste driven. So I think Pakiza was very good for its time, and like here when they tried to make in that one dance sequence that I saw, when uski nath utari ho rahi thi or whatever, they are preparing for her this thing, where Manisha joins the dance. Manisha cannot dance to save her life. Okay.
Oh, that means I blocked this out. Just think.
Just like so, and the rest are pretty good. So of course they make her do very basic steps, but she just doesn't have the grace of a dancer. Neither did Meena Kumari. Which is why Pakiza, a wonderful film as it may be, it had an actor like Rajkumar who's not really great at acting.
And who wasn't the most handsome man.
So, and she couldn't dance, but because it is Pakiza, and Meena Kumari died and that whole thing, I think that's why it's given that status. But cinematically and in the dance sequence, the music, I don't think Umrao Jan and Pakiza are the same level. I think Umrao Jan is here and everything else is here. Rekha as Umrao Jan and Farooq Sheikh and Saeed Jafri for all his overacting. I think Muzaffar Ali did just a spectacular job. The music, the lyrics. After Umrao Jan, it is, I think, impossible to bring that whole thing together. The persona of, Pakiza had the persona of Meena Kumari. It had the music, it had the lyrics, the poetry, but it didn't have the dance. It didn't have that story of Umrao Jan. Umrao Jan had Rekha, it had her. I mean, she's as graceful as a mother.
Just her presence on screen.
So, that's all I've watched, Rajyasree. Now, you handle the show. I'm just going to come in with my uncle jokes.
You haven't watched the other two also.
Election coverage ka puri
whole night you're doing election coverage or you're watching football?
So you think I'll go do that like Champions League 1st of May and then 8th of May. I'm not watching every night. I go home and sleep. When I'm home, I get off. Children, don't be on screens when you're home. Even if you have to do work, if it's on screen, say no. I will save my eye health and my mental health, because it's the last thing. If you're watching 2 hours of this, there's this blue light that comes which stimulates your brain cells, and when you go to sleep, your brain is really sparking. And so tell your teacher, in interest of mental health, I went home and went to sleep.
And you'll be going 0 100 in school.
I went home and I went to sleep.
I went home. Correctly, I said it.
So I haven't watched anything else. Now you please handle the show. Tum bhi to kuch kaam karo.
Yeah, really shocking. So there is why don't you make an announcement? There are 2 announcements.
Oh yeah, I'll make the announcements.
I'm giving you things to do. I'm giving you things to do.
We have a special announcement for you. The newslaundry website and app are now accessible. Basically, a set of features have been introduced. It overhauls our website and our app, and it makes the app accessible to people with disabilities. The features include a screen reader compatibility, voice search, so you can search through voice, transcripts, color contrast settings, dyslexia mode, and a lot more. I didn't even know that in text there's a dyslexia mode because people who are dyslexic have problem reading. So you set it to dyslexia mode and makes it easier to read. And I could be wrong. Maybe there's some obscure app that's done it, but I don't know of any news app in India that has all these accessibility features for people with disabilities. So, and this was done thanks to all our subscribers who keep pushing us to do better, to do more. And I'll tell you where this idea came. About 3 years ago when we had that live recording in Habitat, one subscriber came to me and he tapped me and he was with another friend. He said, "Hi, Abhinandan." And he wasn't looking at me, so I wasn't sure why. He said, "I'm a subscriber. I listen to your podcast, but I'm blind. But I always need someone to make this happen for me. There is technology available to make your app and your stuff available to people." And that's when Chitranshu said we should develop this. And then we collected money and we got this done. So thank you for pushing us. Keep pushing us to do better. And Mandate 2024, new episode with Srinivasan Jain. To have a look at it. There's this interview with Naveen Jindal also. Please have a look at that. And all of you have made this possible through our subscriptions. Government ads and political party donations run legacy media. We run on new, which is why we can do stuff that others don't even attempt. So keep your subscriptions coming in. Click on the link below. Subscribe to News Laundry. Pay to keep news free. So we can say what we want, unafraid, unfettered, in public interest. That's my job here is done.
Yes. Now he'll just interrupt whatever I'm saying. So, Jerry Seinfeld's directorial debut. And did you know he's 70 years old?
Wow, is he?
He doesn't look 70. I kept looking at him saying, has he got work done? But he just doesn't look 70. He's very old.
That 70 is the new 50.
That's true. No, but he doesn't. He looks like 60 years old. Anyway, Jerry Seinfeld has made this film called Unfrosted. And I had very high hopes from this film just because it's Jerry Seinfeld. And it is about 4 months in 1964 when Kellogg's and General Foods had this. And then there's Quaker Oats is there.
Which I eat every morning.
You have Quaker Oats. They make so much fun of Quaker Oats.
Oh, I'm being frauded.
No, all of it is bad. It's processed food. How can anything which can be kept in a packet and not
So I shouldn't
bad?
eat Quaker Oats.
You should not eat anything processed ideally. Make your own cereal every morning. That's not something you're going to do. So you have Quaker Oats is good. But Kellogg's and General Foods basically were in this war to make a cereal, a breakfast food which is not cereal, where you don't need to add milk or anything. So you should be able to open a box and there's a breakfast food that you can have, which is what the Pop-Tart is, which is like a pastry with a fruit jam inside. You've had.
Okay. I don't know, but just one request. Whenever you're talking, try not to block this camera because now I'm here only trying to look pretty because I have nothing to say. So each time you do this and start doing like this and like this.
If you don't,
people can't even see me.
To do that. So it is about
Joke one.
the making of Pop-Tarts. Okay, and
That's the show about. That's what the show's
that's
about.
what the show.
You gotta be fucking. And you put this on the list. I'm glad I didn't watch
It's a
it.
Jerry Seinfeld film.
So?
No.
You should not be a bhakt of anyone.
No.
Just because Jerry Seinfeld, I'll watch any shit.
Yeah. So he plays
Bhakti.
William Post, who he plays this character who he plays Bob Cabana, but it's based on William Post, who made this Pop-Tart basically. Best part about this film is the lineup of stars he's got. So Hugh Grant plays the tiger mascot of Kellogg's. Kellogg's has a tiger, so he plays that mascot. He's a failed Shakespeare actor who has to do this to earn money. And he leads a revolt against the company, the way Capitol Hill was infiltrated by all those weirdos.
Trump supporters.
Yeah, so all these mascots, he gets all the mascots together and they climb the building, and also it's like a spoof on the Capitol Hill through. Then there is Amy Schumer is playing the head of General Foods. Marjorie Post is played by Amy Schumer. Then you have the Mad Men guys come in as ad guys to create an ad for this thing. Then Melissa McCarthy is brought in as a NASA, she's a designer who's brought in to design the Pop-Tart. But the entire thing Like, it's cute. It's 1.5 hours long. But there's nothing to, like, it's like he was given
Unremarkable.
money. Yeah. And for Jerry Seinfeld, like, you feel, so the Hugh Grant moments are nice as standalone moments. There are one or two jokes which are a little cute, but that's about it. Which is a little sad, given that he did make a very good show.
True.
Seinfeld was an excellent show.
It was.
And
Right.
and Christian Slater is in this. So he's
Oh,
got
after
a full,
ages.
he
He also must be quite old now.
yeah. So there are some funny bits. Basically, they are making a breakfast which will not
told
use
us,
milk.
you've told
Keep
us
quiet.
that. Last time you had said that, I don't know which show, they keep, like, we understand. You are keep
I
saying the same
understand.
thing.
Keep quiet.
I understand.
I have not made this
You had
point.
said this about someone at last show. So, just so I'm clear, this show is about make a cereal that
With-
doesn't need milk.
Okay, now I'm giving the second point. So Christian Slater is
Fucking after
a milkman.
12 minutes of non-stop, give a second point.
No, he's the head, like he's the don of the milkmen. So there's a milkman's union. Then there's a guy who, they show all sorts of weird things which only Jerry Seinfeld can show. They show that they go to JFK. As in...
Is it family viewing? Because speaking of
it's-
milkman, because I remember, who made Maine Pyar Kiya and all those films? What was this?
Suraj
Barjatiya.
Barjatiya.
They used to
Family
make
film.
wholesome family films, and they had this character who was the Doodh Wali, remember?
Yes. Who is... So,
And who was very well endowed. And I was like, how the fuck is this, like, happy family entertainment?
But they'll
And then
always have fun.
The Doodh Wali used to come, and all the, driver and the PN. It was so, how the fuck was
was
that
very
cinema
crass.
considered?
No,
How
that
was
was
he
horrible.
considered like the...
so over here they have JFK.
Coming back to Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, JFK is played by Bill Burr.
Here the Don, the Doodh Wali is a Doodh Wala.
He's a Dudwala. So Christian Slater is there trying to stop them from doing this. Then there is Nikita Khrushchev. They show that General Foods goes to Nikita Khrushchev and says that give us all the sugar that you have coming from this thing. So there's a sugar lobby which is there also. Then there is...
Why did he make this shit? And
No,
what the
listen,
fuck?
but there is a funny bit. They go to JFK to say that because JFK says, what is wrong with you guys? You pissed off the sugar mafia and we can't not have sugar in America. So he says, I'll speak to someone. He comes up with someone he's going to speak to. But JFK repeatedly makes references to Marilyn Monroe singing at his birthday. So if you don't know who he's talking about, because he said, ever since she sang at my birthday, Jackie's so pissed off. And so he says, name one of those dessert breakfast things, Jackie, the Jackie O and all. So he has a lot of references to Marilyn and him. So it's almost like an inside joke which Jerry Seinfeld has made into a film. It's
Right.
very sad. I was very disappointed. But Hugh Grant, I have to say, there's one lesson. Hugh Grant called up Jerry Seinfeld to ask for this role. And if Hugh Grant can call up someone and ask for a job, no one should feel ashamed to. If you want something, put your hand up and ask for it. So Jerry Seinfeld wasn't, I know what you want, you can't get. Which is that I should stop talking. What?
Please subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. Because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers served. Because news should not run on ads, whether it's government ads or corporate ads. So that's what I ask for.
Very good, boy.
Okay.
This is a good request. But I would avoid this, even if you love Jerry Seinfeld.
So this brings us to the email that we will read right now. Then you can get back to reviewing the last thing, whatever it is. And then we will talk about that one thing, which is this Ketan Singh had mimicked in a show which they do, I think Kapil Sharma show, they have a mimicked Karan Johar. And Karan Johar threw a shit fit and Ketan Singh apologized to him and Delhi Times carried a piece on that. I'm like, anyway, so we'll come to that as well. But Indu says, greetings Miss Sen and Mr. Sekhri. Your banter brings much needed joy amidst the stifling weather, political and otherwise. Thank you. Miss Sen claiming that cycling led to Armstrong having testicular cancer got me to write this mail. Thank you, Indu. And as the mail will demonstrate, Indu is an educated, well-read person who's
Like
probably a
me.
doctor. While there is no denying that Armstrong was a cyclist who suffered from testicular cancer, he also was on several drugs, including those that could induce cancer. He had been doping prior to his cancer diagnosis. One of the testimonials against Lance in USADA proceedings was his teammate's wife, Betsy Andrew, who was witness to Armstrong admitting drug usage to his doctor prior to his treatment. All his fame and success were accomplished as a uniballer. Uniballer means?
One ball. My dog also had one
following his testicle. ठीक है हम यहाँ तो राजी कुत्ते के बारे में बात करने बैठे हैं. Following his testicle removing surgery and treatment for cancer. For your information, the book The Secret Race by Tyler Hamilton, another Armstrong teammate, made for an interesting read cataloging how the US postal team and Armstrong were doping scot-free for years.
So my points are not incorrect. She's added points to my points. That's all I'm saying. So there's this film which Abhinandan has not watched, which we will discuss, means I will discuss.
The Idea of You.
The Idea of You, which is which I cried at the end. But I did cry. What can I do?
What can you do?
What can I do?
You have to cry.
It's based on a book, and it's all over. Like there's a lot of promos on this film. Anne Hathaway plays a 40-year-old who has a relationship, 40-year-old single mother who runs a art gallery, and her daughter who is 18, I think, or a little younger. She is a big fan of this boy band, which is like One Direction. You know One Direction.
I want it. Okay.
That. You know One Direction, Abhinandan, because...
Tell me why.
No. Who is Tell Me Why is who? Backstreet Boys, you are old enough to give birth to One Direction.
Okay.
Harry Styles,
I know One
Niall
Directions.
Horan and all.
Yeah.
So they are sort of based on One Direction. Her daughter, Anne Hathaway's daughter, is a fan of theirs. She goes to Coachella she has to go as the chaperone with her daughter and her friends. And she meets the lead singer of this boy band. He is 24 years old and he's very hot, I have to say. And she gets involved with him.
Oh!
It's very bad. So, and then what happens and whether
What's
they
to
have
happen? They go to hell.
That's pretty much what they show.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, it is... I thought it was sweet and nice. It's not like Bridges or Madison County kind of romance, but it is, there are a lot of hot scenes in it. I just want to tell people. And they're not bad.
मतलब पता नहीं किस किस्म के घटिया रिव्यू देते हैं हम.
So
all you perverts. Well, nothing perverted about. If you don't want to go all the way to like porn, you can watch this because it has a lot of hot scenes.
Kissing
this
scene
is
only. Kissing.
In the 80s, if someone wanted to recommend a film, देखो उसमें scene. So Rajyasree is still reviewing films for all boys schools in the 80s. It's 2024 and it's the internet.
No, I thought it was a very sweet, fun film. But I went out for lunch the other day with some people who they are a little older. They are quite old, a lot older than me. But two of them said, "You watched Idea of You? We couldn't watch beyond 5 minutes."
You didn't tell them I watched Big Boss 13 episodes also.
No, I also felt
can
they
watch
have
anything.
no love in their lives. That's why I wanted to say you should also get a 24-year-old. But it is, I felt the problems that can come about having a relationship with a celebrity, having a relationship with someone so much younger, they managed to touch on them quite decently. And it's not a bad, like if you want to watch something which doesn't stress your brain out too much but is not totally mindless, I would see. The thing is, Idea of You is not made by Jerry Seinfeld, so I did not think it would be like cutting edge satire or comedy. So it delivered what I thought it would deliver. But then I watched May June, this is on Netflix. No, this is on Prime Video, and May June is also on Prime Video, which is the Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore film where Natalie Portman plays an actress who goes to this small town. She's going to play this woman's character. She's going to play her. So she goes to meet them. This is a woman who had a relationship with a 13-year-old and she had a child with him. May, September. Is it May, September? I gave you the wrong name only for the film. What are you saying?
Oh, how could
This
this
is a
happen?
new-
Surprise,
new thing
surprise. We've hit a new low. Naam hi galat de diya.
May, December. It's not even September. It is May, December. But I have to say, the film, the way they address this. So this woman ultimately married this boy who she had a relationship with. They now have 3 children. This is 20 years later. So that boy is now 32 years old. She is 52 years old or 54 years old. But so Natalie Portman spends time, like they allow access for 10 days or 12 days like that. And a lot of people say that why are you giving her access to your family? So Julianne Moore says, I would rather she depicts us correctly rather than give some lurid kind of tone to our relationship. But that whole thing of what happened to this boy and that he basically lost his childhood because from the time of 12 he became a father at the age of 12. That is very well shown because there's no drama, there's nothing, it's just conversations and interactions. But how delusional this woman is, the older woman, how this boy who is now a man who seems perfectly happy in this marriage. He has 3 children now. They had twins and they have the first child when he was 12 is a girl who's in college and they have twins now who are 18 years old. But what it actually did to his life and what he has gone through, that is very well shown.
I mean, although I will say that, I mean, I guess because cinema like this, you see it, you react to it, it becomes something that you give some mind space to and...
Yeah.
But it's happening all around us, but it's not a thing. For example, my parents' generation. I have an aunt, she was married at 16. She had her first child, I think, before she turned 17. I think she was maybe a couple of months from 15. So, I mean, had she been alive right now, she'd be maybe 88. The age difference between her youngest child, she had 4 kids, and her oldest child is more than the age difference between her and her first daughter.
I can imagine.
So the age between her and her first daughter is 16. The age between her first daughter and her youngest son is 18. So, I mean, I think even Kasturba and Bapu were married when they were 13 or 14 or something. So
even my great-grandmother
it's been happening a lot. I mean, great-grand is very long. I'm saying even people who we have known growing up have been married at 15, 16, had a child at 16, which is, and yet we interacted with them. They were normal people. They had fulfilling lives. I guess women were able to overcome that, whatever trauma of that age or whatever it is. So I just think that it's not as unusual as a film may have made it seem.
No, so that's what they keep saying, what she keeps saying, that why is it so, but of course this is a 12-year-old boy and she was a 32-year-old
Yeah,
woman.
in this case, but I'm just talking about that. But
yeah, so, but
anyway.
I felt it was very cleverly and sensitively done, and also these 2 women are such good actresses, Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. So this is actually worth a watch. I don't know, is it on Netflix? Maybe it's on Netflix. Just check May, December, and
don't check. We'll tell you. That's what the show's for.
Netflix.
You check.
You check. You let us know where I watched it.
Kuch to kar lo yaar, kaam.
Did I watch it on Netflix?
Bloody
Is what
hell.
I'm saying.
Just check. Check the name of the
It's
film.
on Prime.
Check the cast. Check what others have said. We are just here to show you our face and fuck
I
off.
got confused because Netflix
Why are you talking over
acquired.
me? You're talking uninterrupted for 25 minutes. I'm saying one sentence. You have to shout.
So
Such a
watch it
shouter
on
you are, man.
Watch it on Prime. Yeah, he was 13 years old and she was 36.
Okay.
It's a bit of a gap.
Right. So regarding the Kettan Singh, and I don't have anything of consequence to say other than that, I don't know why Karan Johar is such a whiner. Oh, I'm hurt. It has no good taste. Ha, beta, tera dostana to was such fine taste.
And
They make fun when Manoj Kumar filed a case or something because he made fun of him. That some film. But you make fun of them and oh my God, they're sensitive. I just find these guys such self-indulgent. insufferables. But that's my bit.
I want to comment on this that the Met Gala took place, which is always a little bizarre. And this time's theme was the Garden of Time, inspired by J.G. Ballard's 1962 short story. It's about the rich hiding in opulence, vainly attempting to halt the relentless approach of the poor who riot outside. And it's about this wealthy couple so was the theme of this year's Met Gala. Everyone dressed absurdly as usual. But I just felt that maybe there might be some years when there are wars taking place and which America is actively involved in and so on.
Not actively, actually passively involved.
It funded $17 billion has
It's not
been
an
spent.
active involvement. It's a passive involvement.
Whatever involved now. But I just feel maybe you don't do the Met Gala. But
I disagree.
because you think but I don't think it's entertaining anyone other than the celebrities.
Doesn't matter.
themselves.
I don't think world events of great sadness or trauma should be connected to other. There is always going to be horrors in the world. There's always going to be tragedy. And at the same time, there will always be something to celebrate. It may not be to your taste or mine. It's like saying in a week where there has been a major tragedy in India, we should not do nuisance. Why laugh or why do we do this? There is somewhere in India. Forget that. There was a terrorist attack last week, or I think the week we're recording this, where I think 5 or 8, for those, 5 or 8 families whose, brave sons died. Why we record. So I don't subscribe to that. Just because it's not mainstream news. What's happening in Sudan for the last year, what's happening in Syria, it doesn't give us the kind of Twitter outrage, and Colombia students are outraging about it. But there's far worse happening in the world for the last, 8 years. But we've been having Oscars, Academy Awards, we've been recording stupid shows like this. Dude, life goes on that. There'll always be fucking things to...
I anyway think Met Gala should be stopped.
But this because of this, but you should carry on partying and all and posting pictures of your bloody martinis and all. That should happen.
I don't drink martini.
Joby, you drink these absurd looking drinks.
Absurd looking drinks.
That is our show for the week. You can give us your feedback. Rajyasree made me read YouTube comments this week. I must say some of you have given suggestions on YouTube, so maybe we'll read YouTube comments and we'll put those here. But you can also, if you have Hindu type of very cerebral inputs, which actually we learn a thing or two, so do our audience, then you can write to us at podcasts@newslaundry.com. I repeat, podcasts@newslaundry.com. We will read those emails. We will not read YouTube comments because they're not paying subscribers.
That's the thing.
So we will only entertain the views and critique and criticism and other inputs of subscribers who pay to keep news free. And I don't think I'll be able to record next week. Even you won't. You're traveling.
I won't. I will be in Calcutta.
So there'll be no Awful and Awesome next week. But there's enough work happening on election.
Yes.
So
But we'll be back the week after with Abhish Matthew.
Yes, hopefully I should be recording that week.
Hopefully.
If I'm not traveling out of town.
So it's anyone's guess. You'll have to tune in.
Sorry, handsome. There is
then
no
we'd have
we can
a
see.
music video.
No, we can. Okay, so this show was recorded by a wonderful sound recordist, Anil, and it has been produced by Shubhang, and it has been voiced by the two of us.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Sin.
Thank you, Mr. Sekhri.
And it's a wrap.
You can fund journalism that solely works for you. That is our motto at News Laundry. You can pay to keep news free so that news becomes accountable to you just like it's supposed to be. Visit newslaundry.com and become a paying subscriber so that you can pay to keep news free and independent.